else has been. Thank you. A long time. We used to write a gentleman named Marche through the Buddhist Prison Project. So there is also a letter writing program. And it's just not so much about you offering the Dharma through specific teachings or suttas, but to be a friend. Right. This is the greatest Dharma in the world. We're going to talk about that today a little bit. And we used write Marche, and then Marche would write us. And at one time, Marche sent us $13 single dollar bills. Does anybody remember this? And Marche had gotten sent to solitary. And he got sent to solitary because he had gotten a new pair of shoes. And somebody tried to steal the shoes. And he got in an interaction. And they decided that Marche was part of the problem. And he got sent to solitary. And so during his time in solitary, he would write us. And interestingly, during that time, he sent us this money, $13. He knew at that time because he had asked me how many people were sitting in that little office together. And there was consistently 13 of us. And he asked us to take the dollar and to keep it and then to give it to someone in need. And I thought, whatever else we said in those letters didn't matter, did it? It mattered that he felt cared about and as a result could care for others. And that's the way it is, isn't it? That's just the way it is. And then our friend Adrian, we're together, a few friends yesterday. And I don't know for others, but for us, there was a conflict. We were feeling a conflict between these amazing values and principles upon which this country was set and how to live it and how to live it in this time. And she was talking about a gentleman. I don't remember his name, Adrian. It seemed like Victor, something like that. A gentleman from Cuba who has worked, a 70-year-old man who has worked for her at La Vida Del Mar in the kitchen. I believe he was maybe a dishwasher. And Victor lives at the border. And Victor comes up by bus every day and then walks 5 miles from the bus to La Vida Del Mar to wash dishes. And Victor got flagged just, I think, on Thursday, maybe, as someone who did not have all of his documents. By the way, he has his green card, but he doesn't have all somethings sufficiently. And so La Vida Del Mar got informed that that is their job to take the green card, and they are coming to take him. And I don't know where Victor will go. I don't know how the process will unfold. I just know it's not right. I just know it's not right. And we talked about, so then what do you do? What do you do? And what we know we have to do, what we're going to talk about today, is how not to join in fear and how not to join in aggression, which is the other face of fear, right? It's not going to help. It is not the way. And how then to do whatever it is you can that you can see to do, which may be something ridiculous, right? And so what we could give Adrian money, because that's all we could think to do, and said, give it to Victor, and then maybe he can get somewhere or be safe or have them help his family.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, honey.
So and so then in this complicated time, right, when we're celebrating correctly, we are celebrating correctly the values and the principles, right, of freedom, of equality, of happiness for all, aren't we? We are doing that correctly. So I hope you remembered that also correctly. And then we have to always be able to look honestly, don't we, at where we're personally, not just systematically, right, failing, and then to make these small corrections, right? Just small, just maybe that one thing. Um, and I'll give a third example because it takes a kind of bravery. Because when everybody gathers, I'll just give you a tiny little everyday example. When everybody gathers for 4th of July, you're talking barbecue and, right, fruit salads and brownies or whatever you're doing. And again, it's all fine, it's a part of the celebration. But you also have to attend, right, in the middle of all of that to its reality. And I noticed we can't fall in either. We couldn't just say life's going to hell, fuck it all. This is no improvement. It's just a different kind of fear, isn't it? Forget it. I'm leaving. I'm going to move to Victoria, British Columbia. I say this about once a week. We need to secede from the Union, right? Uh, and that's my fear speaking. And so, how to hold both the possibility and potential for the present moment. It's right here. It's right here. It was right there yesterday when we all went, well, what could we really do? Well, we could just give Victor some money and hope that he could get somewhere else. Right? And then I think of Anne Frank, don't you? And then it did. It occurred to me. And now I'm going to help somebody hide or run or be somewhere else. And this isn't an easy thing. It's not easy. I have been critical of the Germans all of my life for how they handled it. And here we are, aren't we? Here we all are. And so today our practice is not just the heartbreaking correctly, wholesomely, right? It should break wholesomely, correctly. And we cannot turn away. We must not, right? It's ridiculous. Because what would the practice be then? We are not resting in luminosity today. And it is always here, isn't it? It's still here. It's no less beautiful. Look around. It takes nothing to see the truth of it. And then we must, right, alchemize it. Because if you're just resting in it, it's pointless, right? We alchemize it. For what else then can I be, do, think, say, speak? And I thought today I would talk about uh, first, what are these qualities of mind that we must cultivate? Because if you can't do that, you can't find the way then to the skillful, to the wholesome, to the beneficial. It just wouldn't be possible, would it? You'd be caught up in the flood, says the Buddha. He calls it the flood of what? Craving, attachment, the wish for everything to be well for oneself, and the turning away from the difficult, which is today not our path, right? We just can't do it. We can't commit to it. And then we sit in the middle of places like Encinitas and Carmel Valley and Carlsbad, and we live really easeful lives, right? And go, and I can feel the grip. Like, I don't even want to look at the news. I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to think about it. I'm just going to spend time in my garden. And by the way, for a moment of refuge, it is exactly correct. And for a life, it is exactly wrong, right? You get the difference? For a moment of refuge, it is correct. Because we all need to be resourced, don't we? We all need to be supported. We all need wholesome connection to the good. This is a part of the refuge that we're going to be taking today. We need it. It's essential. So do not feel guilty in the taking of it, right? We do celebrate the goodness in life. It is essential that we do so, but it is for a purpose. It is not the end result, is it? It would be crazy. You just wake up with a hangover, right? That's all that would happen. You do it so that you can then show up here this morning. And I actually said early on, there's nobody's going to be here today because they were out late. They were watching fireworks or drinking wine with their friends, or and yet here we are.
Diana, sorry to bother you, but we're all having trouble hearing you on Zoom. Is there
Yeah,
any way you can see if your output is
I
on
just
high?
I just checked,
Oh, okay.
Lisa, and it
Sorry.
was low. So now just check in and see. And I'm speaking a little, trying to speak up. Is it a little better?
It's a little better, but it's not great.
That's all we've got.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, thank you. I appreciate your doing that. It's important that we check in on all of this, and I'll do my best to bring my Chicago voice to the conversation. Uh, most people have said to me most of my life, "Could you just be a little quieter? Could you just a little drop that down?" And I'll try to work on the other. And so refuge. And so in the traditional teachings, and they're wholly correct, and they're wholly correct whether you're Jewish or whether you're Muslim or whether you're Christian or doesn't matter. The truth of the refuge is in the just universal reality. And the refuge says there are three things. Anybody know them? Anybody? Three things we can always come back to. And it is an essential, the teachings say, beginning. We can always come back to them every moment. In fact, we need to come back to them more, which is why we're looking at repetitions, right? It's why we're looking at prayers. It's why we're looking at vows, right? Because it says, in any moment of difficulty, inner, outer, or both, there is always refuge. It is always true. This is the luminous reality. It is always true. What are the refuge? Anybody know? Anybody know on Zoom? Yep, it is the three jewels. Anybody know them? The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Now, for those of you who are sitting here who are Christian or who are of the Jewish tradition or have other root tradition, this is be completely overwhelming. Like, what? There's no Buddha here for me. Yeah, well, of course there is. It doesn't mean the guy. It doesn't mean the statue. It doesn't mean the religion. It means your own capacity, yours, the one you're sitting in right now, the Buddha that's right here, right now, sitting in you, who sat here today for the very reason that I want to contribute something. I want to have that for myself, my loved ones, and I want to be that in and for the world, or you wouldn't have gotten up.
My pet. Hi, baby. Hi, I didn't want to scare you. Oh,
Just very focused on the food.
yeah, of course. My God. Here.
Great
Thank
to
you.
help me with that.
Is it yummy? What, did you do something to your knee?
A week ago or so.
Oh,
I got it. The goodness, the goodness in the conversation with your pet. Hmm? You heard that voice, right? The same as the voice with the baby. Nothing but sweetness, right? Nothing but goodness. It is the voice, really, then we want, don't we, in our own minds, in our conversation with ourselves. You know, dear one, sweetheart, I love you, right? This is the beginning practice. And it says we are the only species capable of choosing thought, the only choosing, electing. I will place the mind here in this goodness. And from the Buddhist tradition, it says this is the path to awakening, because then I can choose it again. And then out of its goodness and its benefits and its right quality, I will choose it again. And then I'll choose it again until that is all I'm choosing. Until what? Then there is no other choice but to choose it. But, right? So this is what the Buddha means. And it also means it requires something of us, though we are all born with the seed of it, as was Marche, wasn't he? He was not only born with the seed of that goodness, he exercised that goodness at a very, very difficult time. At a very difficult time. He chose what? Non-attachment. He chose non-craving. He chose, I'm not just going to think about me sitting here, Terry, because that's not likely to contribute to the end of my distress or my suffering, or by the way, anyone else's. But what could I do? By the way, that $13 was all he got every month. Marche got $13 for a month to buy things that he needed in their concert, right? And even Marche got it. Now, by the way, Marche never told us what he was in the New York prison system for. And I thought, this probably isn't the point anyway. Though there was some curiosity, I thought, you know why? Because then I'm going to turn that into something true about Marche. And how horrible would it be that I would then decide that Marche was that, right? That crime, that difficulty, that aggression, right? And so then here we are now obligated not to do that with these ICE officers who are going to show up on Tuesday to pick up Victor. And it's not so easy. And so then how do we live? You have to live knowing, understanding all of this, right? Non-solidifying, non-reactivity, non-judgment, and also taking a very clear stand, right? But then it isn't against anything, is it? Because all falsity, it says, all falsity is against, because there is no other in which to be against. There is only the whole of this, and then how we will respond. And the teachings say, remember your own goodness. This is what the Buddha means. Remember your own goodness so that you can then remember the goodness in others. Even when, right? I can't imagine what it would be like being an officer there and going, I either lose my job, I already live in San something down there, probably don't own a house, and I either do the job or I don't do the job, right? Nobody wins. There's no easy. So there's Victor, completely victimized. There's the ICE guys also, right? And here we are. And so the Buddha refuge says, first remember, before any action, before any formal thought, and before any deed, any action that you take, we must first remember the interconnectedness of it all. And then you will act most skillfully. It doesn't mean you don't act. It doesn't mean you don't get in the way. It doesn't mean you don't help Victor hide. It doesn't mean you don't give him money. It's not, there is no formula here beyond, so, right? There's no rule book that goes, in these situations, just do this and it'll all work out for you. It's actually greater, isn't it? It says, always do this first, and then always do this first, remembering the good in others, and then always act from that goodness. And then whatever you do from it, take full responsibility, right? Because now you have set your karma and dharma wheel in motion. So then you stand in it and go, I did it. I did it, right? And that's where that bravery comes from, doesn't it? You ever, anybody who has kids, remember the argument with the kid? Why? Why are you like this? Why do you do it? You're just terrible. I hate you. And they may still hate you, by the way. That may not have resolved. Right? And you're just such a, and you just took the stand, which is I understand. And I understand that you don't like me, and I understand this doesn't make any sense to you. And I understand that if you were in my shoes, you think you would do this differently, and then maybe even you would. But the only thing I know is your safety, your well being today is most important. And so I'm going to take, here I am. Here I am. That's it, right? There was no aggression. There was no, well, there's only a debate if you climb in to wanting to be liked or wanting to be appreciated, or, and we all did that plenty too, right? If only you understood, you would say, right? No, there was no talking. There's no talking. There's only, I'm clear. And by the way, I remember, and so do you, every moment where I was like, I understand that this is hard. I understand it isn't your preference. I understand your whole mind body is going in a whole other direction. And yet this is still the right thing, at least for right now. And that things managed somehow to begin to settle, right? It doesn't mean we ever agreed. It doesn't mean we saw it the same way at all, right? I actually was saying to my husband yesterday with our friends, what was it? What did we do with Tyler, my oldest, that the kid just put on a helmet to ride a bike? He just put it on to go skiing when other people weren't doing it. And he just wore it. And there was never a, and it wasn't hanging, it makes me terrified, right? I'm just personally terrified that these kids are driving at 25 miles an hour with their helmet straps hanging, right? And it looked, right? And he just wore it. And what do you think he said? What's the answer? We wore ours. That's why. It was just the way it was. We wore ours. We didn't ask him to do anything that we weren't already committed to doing completely. And so there was just, it wasn't the question. You just did that because that's the way you did it. It was understood to be the right thing. And so look what our job is. It's just to do the right thing, right? Trusting it, that then less resistance, less, and where there is, you just take your Dharma seat. You just say, I understand that it's hard, or I understand this is confusing, or I understand that this isn't going to make sense for you right now. And it's okay, right? I will hold the wisdom that can be held right now until we can all see more clearly. We get this idea? So there's the Buddha, there's the Dharma, resting in just the truth of it, isn't it? And then there's the Sangha, which is all those others who are invisible sometimes in a certain moment, but who know this too. All those other parents, all those other people at places where people are being taken, right? To say, I must do something, even if it's not going to fix it all today. And then we remember, before we sit, we remember our own greedy minds. I want it all fixed today. And I want it to be this one simple action that fixes it. Don't we all? I want it today. I do too. And the wholesomeness of that is my willingness to continue every day, every moment, and every breath until we get there. Not just, I want it now, which just makes us brats, doesn't it? We just become a brat. I just want it to be like it was. I've heard this way too often. It is not going to be the way it was. And the way it was were the conditions, by the way, folks, for this. The very way it was is how we got here, actually. It wasn't some other way. It didn't just fall on us. It's not true, as much as we all like the idea that it worked before. Not exactly, not completely, because here we sit, and we're not dead in the water here either. There is a response, there is a way to be, there is action today that is also the condition for what? Tomorrow and now. So you don't quit or go, it's all gone to hell. And I've said it myself. Hell in a handbasket. What are we doing? Get me out of here. It's too easy. It's not the path. The path is conditions before contributing to now. Conditions now. And then what? We are once again awakened. That there is the Buddha mind that says, no, right now, setting perfect condition for exactly what's now. And I am it, and Adrian is it, and you are it, right? And we are not hopeless, and we are not lost. There, are we? And you can feel it, just this. Just this. Right? Can we rest in it? Just this. Attending to this sets the perfect condition. It is the most fertile field, says the Buddha, for the guarantee to happiness and freedom. This moment is it. Fertile field. What you invest in it, the nutrients you place in it. Right? So do we get this idea of refuge? And then the rest of the teachings throughout the 80 years that the Buddha was alive, he said there's this way and this way, and you can do it like this, and you can do it like this too, and this would be a good idea. And last week and this week we're talking about repetitions. Where do I purposefully place the mind every time a moment of greed, hatred, or ignorance arises in me? Where do I go? Automatically, immediately. Where do I rest? And I rest and I rest. What do I repeat? Where do I awaken the mind before I take an action that sets the conditions? And that is also a refuge. By the way, we're going to recollect those today. Is there anybody who goes, I have no idea what she just said? Yeah, Lynn's laughing. Because none of us really know. Why? We don't know then beyond those qualities of being. And that's all that we were offered in this cosmology. It just said, bring these qualities into the mind. Bring these qualities to the body. Bring these qualities to the heart. And then anything else you do will be the right thing. Anything and everything you do from that. Set the mind correctly. Set the body correctly. Know the body as the body. Set the heart towards compassion, towards care. See yourself in others and see others as yourself was the instruction. And then everything will be right from there. And isn't it true? You know it is, right? So there's no book that says, in this situation, do this. And then when it's like this, do that. Because it's too easy. And by the way, it's minimalistic. It takes all the goodness of you, all the unique, fabulous qualities of you out of the picture. It just gives us the playbook without the realities. This says, no, you will know, you, the Buddha, will know best in that situation. And I actually am confident as well. But it requires this training, doesn't it, in us? And so we sit. And so let's do that. And so preparing to sit, finding a comfortable seat. And this is setting the body. What did I just say? The 3 spheres. It says set the body correctly. and right. And so you find a comfortable yet alert posture. With the feet in some way in contact with the earth. Feeling the sense of the body as it sits and rests. And we remember that it is held by the earth as well. It is not a one person, just you situation. You are being held in this earth, to this earth, by the earth as well. And we recollect this to remember all of the benefits, all of the goodness, not only within us, but then also around us. And it's abundant and vast. And begin with the earth itself. And this is a useful time to begin, as we are not yet placing the mind, to begin to just relax and release into the earth with the out breath. This begins to turn us a little bit towards the inner mechanisms and the breath, but in a friendly way. And once you touch the earth by coming to the end of the out breath, we just think, ah. And then we activate the heart mind. It says by recollecting the lineage, by recollecting the tradition, by recollecting all the good throughout all time that is also here. And all those that have come before us, those special ones, those awakened ones, that committed oneself as wholeheartedly as we are to those three refuge. And remember, it doesn't matter the tradition. To the propagation of the good, to the end of suffering. And that it be of benefit not only to oneself, but to all beings. And then you recite a chant, you sing a prayer, or you strike a bell. And let's just rest for a moment, breathing in and breathing out that essential Buddha nature, that goodness, that wisdom. And then we can begin to find refuge as well in the breath. and in the body. This present moment body. The metronome of the present moment, the breath itself. And we begin with this radical act of commitment. No matter the cravings of the mind, no matter the preferences, the reactions, the opinions, we commit ourselves again and again to the direct experience of the present moment, the body and the breath. And we're activating that most amazing part of our capacity to direct the mind, to direct one's attention, and to place it, this gift we have been given. And so we do not choose or default into the pleasant, into the preferred, into narrative storyline thinking. We commit ourselves with every breath. Beginning this breath, this body, to knowing how things really are. I am alive, I am awake, and I am attentive. We cultivate this Buddha body, this Buddha breath, again and again. And we fully inhabit the body breath. We're not thinking about it, we're not liking or not liking. We're letting all of that go to simply abide, feeling as fully as we can, making as much contact, direct, immediate, and felt. And so when you can't remember why I ask you to sit for that 13 or 15 minutes every day, this is the reason we are setting the mind correctly. Right here, this present moment, over and over. Putting an end to cravings is the path to the end of suffering. And so we begin to see that even in these few moments of restraint, of renunciation, of not just being led, but choosing present moment, choosing the goodness, choosing what is available here, we are already in greater ease. This non craving, non seeking mind, more present, more awake. And in this softened body, we then set the mind. The goodness that is here, the goodness throughout all time, the capacity for love, compassion, and care for oneself and others. And so you may elect your particular vow, mantra, gatha, and we've been practicing a little bit with the gathas. Breathing in, I am awake. Breathing out, I am fully present. We can support ourselves with these little short gathas attached to the breath. So that we can remember. Breathing in, hearing the song of the morning bird. Breathing out, resting in the reality of interbeing. And just like the breath, we place the mind again and again, each breath. And with this softened body and this stable mind, we come into this good heart, this heart of bodhicitta, with the capacity for that love, that compassion. And we turn directly, as we've been practicing, into our own hearts, the goodness of our own hearts and its tenderness. And when the mind has been purified, stabilized, and unified, there is nothing but this vast, wide open, boundless heart. It is the natural result. And so we create space and room and we let it breathe. And in the teachings, this is sometimes called loving kindness, metta, maitri, luminous presence, luminous being, practice. And we place the mind and that softened body in those phrases, and more importantly, in this quality of awakened heart mind, the one that is courageous, the one that is good, the one that wishes for well being, not only for oneself, but for the whole. And this too is a refuge. And we can then, to support the goodness of this awakened heart, we can recite phrases. We can imagine that goodness as a warm, glowing light radiating from our own hearts, also radiating down upon us. We remember the Buddha nature in ourselves and then in all beings as we recite these blessings. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we be grateful for our infinite blessings and use those blessings to the good. May we rest and dwell in this vast, open, and boundless space of awakened heart-mind, free from greed, free from aggression, free from ignorance. So that we are all free. And then we send those very same blessings out to those special ones. Someone in need, a group of people in a difficult situation, an animal, all animals. whole of the earth? See where the limit is. Wherever you begin is good. And then we commit to doing this every day until we are living it every breath. May you be happy. May you be free from sorrow, from grief, from hatred. May you have ease. May you know the Buddha within you and within others. And then act, think, and speak in accord. And may our practice today contribute that this be so, that it be realized this breath, this day, and every day. So be it. I want to check our time a little bit. Okay. So I want to talk for a minute about this, and I want you to reflect on then for you, what's the practice? Since we've got 2,600 years of evidence that the teachings offer instructions, that the instructions work, that they're of benefit, and then we get distracted. And then we can find the billion reasons we all have not to do those simple things we're being asked to do because we have to do them again and again. And so, what do you need to remember? This is what 2,600 years and the science say is the path. What do you need? Calm heart. How do you get it? Not on Amazon. It's working out for Jeff, though, isn't it? Or probably not so much. Not really. So, what we need are the points of refuge, don't we? We all need them. And then we need whichever ones can work for you, by the way. This is an equal opportunity program. If what you can do best is stabilize the mind, well, we do that. It says you must. You must. There's no option not to do it. How you do it, when you do it, well, that's for you to figure out. They're just offering what they understand from this tradition are the easiest, fastest, most usable. And if you can Sufi dance instead, go for it. Right? Great. By the way, it's not easy. It's not simpler, is it? It's not simpler. Being in nature, absolutely. And then you still must quiet the mind to be able to drink it in. Hot yoga feels pretty good to the body. I have not noticed that it helps establish these trainings for the mind. It certainly does help settle, stabilize, brings mind home to body. But then you must place that mind. You must place that mind. That was the failure in our program in the 90s, was it the 80s or 90s, with the Chicago Bulls. Remember that? These were the best basketball players alive. They had capacity for attention like no other. They joined that attention, which was unbelievable and amazing. They were beautiful mindfulness practitioners on the court, and their lives were disaster. Completely. And has played out as nothing but a disaster. And the gentleman who was absolutely one of my favorite guys ever who worked with them said, I have no idea how to take this off the court with these guys. No idea. They're snipers. And then they go drink and carouse and do all the insanity that they do. And now we've got this refuge on the court. They get onto the court, right? Their attention is fixed. They're amazing. And then they go do it again. And it's going to destroy them. And I have no idea. And of course, he couldn't do it because there was only one reason for it, and that was to win basketball. And they did, by the way, right? They did it a bunch of times. But it's not enough, is it? So if you're doing it just for calm, just for momentary ease on the court, called the court of your own house, the court of your own bedroom, the court of your own life, it's not going to work out all that well. We've got some evidence. It is not going to work out. You have to bring this practice off the cushion. over and over and over. It's why we have all the compassionate action opportunities as just one, right? Not everybody has to go to Philabelly. We'll talk about it in a minute. Lynn, don't worry. She goes, you don't have to worry, right? It's gonna, we're gonna get there. It's all gonna work out just fine. But the truth is, it's not enough, right? And I did it for a long time. I sat with a deep amount of concentration and absorption for about 9 years, and the Zen tradition supported me. It said, don't do anything, just sit there. It was terrific. I felt great. Till I had a conversation with my husband or my kids or the neighbor who was paranoid delusional disorder, right? Till then, till the guy cut me off, till my mother said, no cookies? You didn't bring the cookies? Right? And that's right. It's the path you're on. And then you go, wait a minute, this is working out a little, but it's full of greed. It's full of me and what it can get me. And by the way, it's not a bad start. It's not a bad start. Do it for that reason. You just can't keep it as the only reason. But start however you start. I just want to feel a little better. Yay. Yay, because your feeling better will help others feel better if we keep growing the practice and the trainings. And so then you see that we end up where? In metta, in loving kindness. And we didn't do it today, but we could have, couldn't we, have done the compassion practices. Right. And will you feel better? You will, in certain conditions for a while. You will. And then you have to stay in the closet like I did, or hide in the bathroom to get away from the rest of life. And it's not enough for this human life, is it? It's not enough. As lovely as it is. And so what do you need? Well, you need those 3 refuge. You better remember the goodness in you. You better remember that you've got to make contact with it in some way every day. And you better remember that some stillness, silence, and open space in which to rest in it, we have to steep in it like tea in warm water. This is the only way we remember. Isn't it? It's the only way we remember. The thought is not sufficient, says the science. The science says the thought itself is not sufficient. You use the thought to activate the truth of it in the whole mind, body, being. The thought is not sufficient. And in fact, Tara Brach just did a talk. She's the only one I've heard so far speak to this. I was actually struck by her courage in it, because there's no easy answer or solution. She said, the problem with the lie, she was talking about all the propagation on all sides, right? This is not a one-sided dilemma or endeavor, but of just propaganda or lies or pith, right? She said the problem with it, and the science says it's so, and I love the science for this, says once the lie is bought into, and of course you see this everywhere, once it's bought into, there is no evidence that undoes it. 0%. It gives me the shivers. It's terrifying. Once you decide that's the enemy, there's no undoing it. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter the facts. Only one thing matters. Now, one thing, a different experience. You have to know Victor. You have to watch him get taken away and go, uh-oh, this doesn't look so good. This doesn't feel so good. This isn't going to work out so well. That's all. No data, no facts, no numbers, no if you only knew. I don't know how much I've wasted my time I realize now with my mother going, you know what? Here's the data, Mom. Here it is. $700 billion, Mom, for people that were your family receiving Medicaid. What about that? And she goes, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So what? Not my problem, right? She doesn't know a Hispanic person other than her gardener, who she really doesn't talk to. That's what is going to make the difference. That's what made the difference for us, didn't it? With Phil Belly. We went, oh my God, you're a person just like me. You want to be safe, have shelter and food just like me. You are grateful as a result, just like me. Right? And then you're forever transformed. That's all. The direct experience. So forget it. There is, if only this number, couldn't we buy that number? If you could fight that number with this number, we'd have better numbers and then everybody would get it. It is never, forget it. It is not true. It says 0%. Not a little. If you only had the facts, is not true. If you only had the experience, is true. And then what's our job? We've got to cultivate experience. We've got to go be, do, be with, sit with, care for, right? That's it. There's no other thing. And of course, then we look at history and we see exactly the same. So that's the practice. And then however you cultivate that is good. And that we all need the break. We all need the refuge to rest in, to fortify, to stabilize, to purify. Do you hear the words I use? And then ultimately to unify. Me just like you, wanting a place to live. Me just like you, wanting to be able to afford good food. Me just like you, wanting to be able to care for my family. Experience it, and then one step further. Anybody know what it is? Experience it, because only experience is the teacher. We've known this forever. This is not exactly news, but we keep forgetting because we keep fighting facts, right? Do you know how much time we waste on that? Endless. Endless. Endless, endless. If you're watching anything on any station, watch what is happening. Not that fact, this one. It's a waste of time, says the science. Nobody cares, really. You're just being data dumped. So then you have the experience that says, oh my gosh, you like me. And then you be it. And that's the awakening. And then you be it, right? Called, I don't even know what that's going to look like as it relates to Victor. I don't know. I just know I'm going to be it to the extent that I can, the extent that you can, right? And then we're going to keep doing it. And we're going to be it on Thursday, the 17th at Philbelly. And then we're going to do it again, I think, next week on Tuesday, by the way, for St. Andrews, because food is short. Food is short. Anybody see the most recent San Diego Food Bank? They're in just bad trouble. Bad, bad, bad trouble. They're just in trouble. And what can we do? That. We can do that. can't we? We can. We can go. So that's it. I'm giving my X dollars to that thing because I can. I can show up to Philabelli with my fabulous macaroni stuff, something or other thing you make, and right, you can give the rest away. That's great, right? So there's endless opportunities, and then I can steady my own mind for every other moment, every other day that I'm not doing that, but that I am still making an offering consistently, aren't you? Thought, words, and deeds, every breath. You're still doing it. You're just not doing it at Philabelli or St. Andrews or the San Diego Food Bank. And it is as important a contribution. It just is. And the only way I know to do that, because if I knew a better way, I'd tell you I'm very practical, is to sit every day. It is the only way I know, because I forget every single day. I have to start there again every single day, because my brainstem fires first every single day. What do I got to do? Who do I got to do it with? Planning and organizing, right? Every single day. And I forget the heart mind that really wants to do that and the reason. And so do you. And so we're going to remember continuously, right? Together. I've asked everyone to give me a phrase, a saying, a quote, a vow. I have about 5. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you because I want to put that in a little book. I want us to know this is the voice of the Sangha. This is what you're placing your mind on. I want everybody to know you're doing it and that you're doing it on purpose every day, not only for you, but for them. So we'll keep collecting those. Anything else?
You have new notifications from TikTok.
I
Phone and
apologize.
YouTube.
I have
Here
no
are the
idea
12
why.
from TikTok. Good morning, D. Taking picture with my cousin.
Good to know. That repetition. Find something. Yeah. So what would it take to look at, let's say, your week's worth of phrases, because that's contextual, and then pull out what its essence is, and then say that. Because remember, the Buddha said so. He said, I don't need 50,000 phrases. I need the one. And his was, I am awake. Right? So what is that? Distill it into what really is the point of that, because the science says you will not be able to recollect it in its 50,000 forms. And the science says it's so. You will not be able to call on it at the time of death to go, wait a minute, now I'm here in this. Which one do I use? You don't have the time, because who does? Right? And it says whether that's an image, whether that's the word, and we know that the language center is large in us. It activates more, lights up that whole neural tree. So we want it to be with language, but not only, remember what I said, you have to feel it too. What did we say about the facts? Not enough. The words, not enough. Because boy, don't we throw those around? Like, over here, over there, everywhere. But without the felt sense, without the awakened heart mind, they're pointless. So what would that be? And what is going to activate you into that bodhicitta heart?
My dad used the Lord's Prayer, and I was puzzled.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you don't need somebody else's. You don't need to understand that at all. You need to understand what yours is and how to activate that. And yes, we are also activated by others. It is true. And their goodness, right? We don't need to recite there. That's why it doesn't matter to me. What connects you to it? And if you don't know, practice a little with it. And then, like I said, distill it a little because you aren't going to be able to remember them. There is not the five. You know, we did a practice. We've done it twice, I think, haven't we? The 37 slogans. We can't remember those slogans. There's only 37. There's not 84,000. 37, and we usually come away with what, one or two that we go, well, that resonated. Drive all blames into one was one of ours. We just, as a sangha, connected with that and went, yep. There's nobody else to blame. There's nobody else to look to. There's nobody else fixing anything. Drive all blames into one. Right? And boy, boom, that one we remembered. Well, it was good enough. Wasn't it? It's good enough. Out of that 37, if we only came away with that one, I'd say pretty great. Right? Pretty good. And so you don't need a billion, do you? It doesn't need to be endless. It doesn't have to be once we finally get it perfect at all. You go, I got this. This one tends to, that's it. And I want to know what that is because we're going to share that as an experience. As an experience. I'd love to know what yours was because probably when I'm talking to you, I'd think it with you. And how beautiful would that be? I only know a couple, and one of them's Lynn's. Every time I look at Lynn now, amazingly, that Thai's Gata comes to mind. Actually, every single time. I'm like, I really know what that heart is. I know those. I know that little rhythm a bit. I know Janine's. Mm-hmm. Text or email. I'm an equal opportunity format person. Equal opportunity formats. Yes, I will email. I'll send it to you all again. But I want it. And I want it not, it's a wholesome desire. I want it not because of, there's no greed factor in it. I want it because I want to share that. Because I think we'll all benefit from it. And I do know some people are just shy and others are, and the truth is, no, it's okay to say, this is the one I say. I was joking with one of my sons the other day, and I was talking about this repetition and what did they use and what do they say to themselves. And it's going to make me cry. And Tanner said, oh, I just say be better. Okay. And I said, as long as you remember that you're already good. And he said, oh, maybe I have to add that. Maybe you do, right? Okay. So let's say our prayer. And remember, prayer is not to something. Prayer is an experience. That's what Jim just said. He said, I don't know, I didn't get all the words. I don't know what he was doing over there. But there was something. There was an experience of my father, he said. And that experience was the teacher. I'm sure it's part of what got Jim here. Right. And that. The words, whatever. It's what is evoked, cultivated, informed in our awakening that matters. So be watchful. And as I joked with you the other day, Greg and I were with the lovely Lama from Tibet, and we were just reciting prayers and reciting prayers and reciting, and we were speaking Tibetan, and we didn't say probably 5 of the words right, and it didn't matter. Didn't matter. And I was probably the loudest one. And I'm sure I said them all wrong. And it didn't matter because the heart of that was so clear. And so that's what you're working towards. That's the point of the repetition, is that I wake up again and again and again with it, in it. May it be a guard for those who seek protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings. May I be sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we be happy and safe and free, and so may all beings. And may this practice today contribute, and may it continue. So be it. Oh, you knew it was the final. Little man got the final bell. I know. Good job. Good job. You did a good job. Oh, come here. I'm sorry. That was an accident. I did not mean that. Thank you all for being here on a day where it would be certainly easier not to be, for all the reasons we named and several that we didn't. Yes, if you're at Lofty's, have a great time over there. It's a beautiful day again to remember and to participate. All the Donna that's given to us today will go to Victor. That's going to be sent to Donna boxes over there. That's going to go to him. If you don't have any cash, but you want to send me something, just send it to me. I'll send you my, you guys have the Unsanitas Mindfulness, I think. We're also collecting money then for St. Andrews, where next, not this, oh, wait a minute. It is this Tuesday because it's the second Tuesday. Got it. Should we wait? Because that feels like a little too quick. It's making me anxious because I want to. Let's wait till next Tuesday. Let's wait till next Tuesday. Let's do that. Yeah, because we're all in traveling in all kinds of places. So we're going to do next Tuesday. Then next week's a little big week because we have Tuesday for St. Andrews. Most of that is usually money. A little bit of food comes to us, not that much. I happen to have some, so I want to make sure I get that to you guys. And then Thursday, not next week, the week after. That's great. No. Yeah, let's not do the 8th. Is Philabelli. Yep. Tuesday the 15th is going to be St. Andrews. we're gonna have a just amazing compassionate week. Is what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow out our limits on what we think we can do for compassion and contribution. Yes, for the fill-a-belly. We need everything. Side. We need everything. Lynn, our Sangha is I think we're just confident. I want to say I think we are. So nobody's said anything to Lynn. I think that's because we know we are. And so we tend to wait till the week before and then go, yeah, put me down for a thing. But we always have more than enough. And so I am very confident that won't be any problem. If you're traveling and so you can't contribute a dish, that would be an opportunity to contribute to St. Andrews. So then get your money together, grab your $20 or whatever, your $5, doesn't matter what it is, let somebody know, and then Lisa is going to be speaks with St. Andrews about what you guys most need. We have not always, I'm going to guess it could change. Yep. It is all true. I think so. So we did that already. We were doing tuna. It's turned out maybe not best because what people will make that's easy to make and large pots that can be kept is beans. And so that's great. Whatever we can. How many pounds did we buy last time? 700. Feed sacks of beans. The St. Andrews is the St. Andrews Episcopal Church over there on Ballure, and they offer and have for many years an every week distribution. And Kathleen, who was just here, I think has left, actually goes there to assist them collect and bag, because they take the large bags and then they of course put them in She does that on Thursday. We on Tuesday, yeah, they're two different things. They're at St. Andrews on Thursday, and we do fill-a-belly. You might be thinking about our fill-a-belly. We go to the United.
I asked about the Thursday because I have been going
Yes.
to the Thursday at St. Andrews.
Oh, yes.
I was confused what's the Tuesday.
Ah, so we collect the money on Tuesday. We get it to Lisa, and she goes shopping, and then we get the food.
On Thursday.
We get it to them before Thursday, so that it's available for them for their Thursday distribution. But fill-a-belly is the make a meal. We all bring it. There's at United Methodist. So lots of good stuff to do. Please look at the books. They will stay here for probably a week or two. Anybody want a book? You know what I probably should do is just take pictures of these. Yeah, and put them on the website. Maybe, huh? Yes, there are. Yes. Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry for the confusion, Diana.
Oh, no, it's, well, I love that we're doing so much good that we can't remember which good thing we're doing on which day.
On Tuesday, when you made a point to tell us how we always remember to bring our phones with us, I made a meme.
Oh, look at this. Oh, I want to take a
I will
picture
do
of
this for
that.
everyone in the Sangha. If
Oh,
you send
that
me
would be
their-
amazing.
I found a graphic, and my daughter helped me
I
size it to the
love
phone.
this. Will you send that to
And
me?
then I made an alarm. So at noon, and I always
Yep.
have it.
I want you to talk about this on Tuesday. Will you? Yeah. And make that offering. Oh, no, oh my God. I love this. We do. No, we do. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Oh my gosh, Janine. That I just got electric. I just got electric. That is, will you send me that picture also?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm going to put it in the website as an example.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I did it in 5 minutes. It's so.
Oh my
easy.
God. So excited.
We control the technology. The technology does not control us.
We can't let it, we can't let it, can we? Oh my. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Should I leave this mug of yours?
You just set it right on that white table and then it gets taken in. That's all you need to worry about. Yes, no problem. You're so welcome.